We are going to talk about The Boys season 3, episodes 1 and 2 now, however, though.
Yes.
And so that means we will be getting spoilery about this show. I will say up front that I have not read the comics for The Boys.
Same.
So if you're looking for how this differs from the comics, we won't have that here. Maybe we can find a guest that has read them or whatever. To my understanding, they're quite different, but maybe tonally feel familiar. So, yeah, let's get into it. So, the last couple seasons, we talked about this on the show as well. Seasons 1 and 2. How did season 2 leave you? What's been your impressions of the series so far? Are you excited for this upcoming season? All that sort of thing.
Yeah. I mean, I think we talked a little bit about like The Boys freshman season 1 was excellent. It was absolutely amazing, and like season 2 just didn't quite live up, but was still really solid. And I still feel that way. I think season 2 still had a great story arc and introduced us to some great new characters that I'm glad have joined the show. But yeah, I mean, season 2 was like kind of the classic like splitting up of the team, you know, that there was just too much difference between Butcher and Huey, and they just couldn't quite make it work, and they were, you know, both chafing with each other's like approach to dealing with this with the superhero situation. And you know, so you had like the classic like, oh, okay, we're too different, we have to split up. And I mean, we have to split up, but like sort of still, you know, we still got the same goals, but we just can't like work together that way. So season 3 I thought was like a great opening of a time jump, like what's changed in now like the kind of year-ish I think that it's been since the moments of season 2 left us, where it makes sense where we arrive in season 3, where like these kind of orders, patterns, everyday lives have jumped into like a very static place, where everything's already built up. So Huey's working at this new like federal bureau of like superhero regulations. You know, everything's already done. We don't have to watch it being created and built up. It's already there, because season 3, to me, it was very clear from the beginning, is about tearing all of that down, because we don't care about that stuff. We don't care. The Boys is not a show where we care about like rules and regulations and the nice, neat way of doing things. The Boys is like tear it down, blood and guts, like hardcore knockdown, drag out fights of, you know, superheroes versus like these regular humans, and how impossible these situations are and how messy everything is. So to me, season 3 opened the way that it should have.
Okay.
You know, like jumping in the middle of everything being like quote unquote perfect, especially for Huey. Like he is living his dream life, and as soon as like those first notes of Uptown Girl like came in and he was like doing this little like adorable morning routine, I just knew, I was like, we're about to burn this shit down.
Sure. Yeah.
So I'm glad that this was the point season 3 dropped us in on.
Okay. I Miro is chatting a little bit here. In the comments, saying it kind of looks like Justice League. And I was saying, like, visually, I think the way this is toned, color graded and stuff, it does have a Zack Snyder Justice League kind of look to it, for sure. So let's see. Oh, and if he's saying so, it's maybe difficult to imagine a new hero without kind of looking like the original ones, kind of maybe that they're based off of. I mean,
sure.
If you're not familiar with the concept, I Am Ramiro, it's definitely this is not in the Marvel or DC world or universe. is separate, and the whole kind of premise is that what would it maybe more realistically be like if we had super powered people? And so
Yep.
various things have tried this in the past. I know there was one with a movie of what if kids had powers? What would they do?
Yep.
Kind of thing. Teens, you know. So this is like, it's one of those things where I've seen people, they'll take America's scene beating up some people and make it more realistic, like with the force they're applying, and their heads are just exploding and their rib cages are getting busted out, and like you're just going splat because, you know, be more realistic. And so this is what would the corporatization and the really how would the world handle and facilitate outside of the kind of glossy, like, oh well, they're heroes now and our children celebrate them and yay, it's kind of the
It's
dark side. So
yeah, I mean it's definitely still that, but like what forces shape that? Like
right.
our children still like it's glossy on the outside and everybody the public thinks like, "Oh, celebrations, our kids dress up like them. How adorable." And then this is pulling back the curtain of like these are very produced people. They
Yep.
are commodified people.
Yep. Yep. So I really like the direction the show takes in that way. That's definitely what drew me to it, because
Mhm.
I do feel like it's a very plausible reality that we could see if we were to have superheroes, and something that
Heck yeah.
mainstream comics have not really addressed or tackled, because it's not as fun and kid friendly for sure.
Oh
So
god, no.
yeah, yeah. As we see in the opening
Don't
episode,
let children
uh,
watch this.
oh man,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, I'm kind of in the same place where you are with thinking season 1 and 2. Season 1 really grabbed me. It was very interesting. Set up some really fun characters. Season 2, I'm probably a little more sour on than you, just in the sense that like I thought they didn't handle their delicate balance and critique of social issues as like
Wasn't quite
um,
as nuanced.
yeah, as season 1 didn't
Sure.
manage that quite as well. And then, like you say, the kind of traditional team falling apart kind of thing is
Mhm.
fine, but there got to be moments that were too much. Some characters started
Yeah.
to grate at my patience a little bit,
Sure.
um, and that sort of thing. But ultimately, the big picture stuff, what was happening, and getting to see more of like Homelander's like weirdness, and a lot of that was all rewarding stuff.
Yes.
Um, Getting to see Frenchie develop into a more mature character, and
Yes.
attach
Fall in
himself to,
love.
yeah, right. So
So cute.
yep.
This show has such few cute moments. You just kind of got to grab
Yes.
onto what you get. And
Yes.
they can do cute well, but more often they do horrifying
Hmm.
well.
Yep. So yes, horrifying. That's how we start out in episode 1 in this season. They're letting us know right away what kind of show we're getting into, if you had not already known. It's funny that I. Romero mentions Justice League, because they actually make a Snyder Cut reference. Basically, they're like in there saying, "Thanks to the fans, we are going to release this version." Uh, and
Yes. So what? Yeah. What? If nobody knows what John is talking about, is they make like a superhero movie within this like universe called Dawn of the Seven, and they have to very quickly rewrite it due to last season. The new character we were introduced to, Stormfront. It's revealed by the end of the season that she is a secret Nazi, and
like a
finally
mega Nazi,
like,
like
yeah, no, I
s-
mean, it's a secret that she is a
scheming for
Nazi, and
years.
then when it
Yeah.
comes out, yeah,
Hmm.
she's like, it's horrific. But then of course, like it's revealed to the public, and so this movie was originally built around her being part of our, main superhero group, the Seven. Uh, Definitely can't have any Nazis anywhere in there, so they quick rewrite the movie to make her like
The
a
villain.
villain who has betrayed the Seven and most importantly Homelander.
Hmm.
And that's how
Yep.
we kind of start off the season in this like,
Yep.
terrible, terribly written superhero cheesy movie. I mean, Chris and I were just like cringing through
Hmm.
it.
Hmm.
But I do love the cameo by Charlize Theron
Yeah.
playing Stormfront. Oh god, she was so like perfectly cheesy,
Hmm.
but not being cheesy. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, because
The dialogue was cheesy, but she was so committed. But
Mhm.
she was like also aware that it was terrible. I don't know how she like did that, but it was perfect.
I think they probably just told her, pretend you're acting in a Marvel movie. I think that's probably all they said. Because this show, more than ever now, was
It did
really,
mock the superhero movie in a really great
yes.
way.
Because you see it. Like, yes, but it's cringy juxtaposed with the seriousness of this show and the reality
Yes,
that this
yeah.
show can bring. And then so you put this, plop it in the middle here, and it shows on like how ridiculous it is. Remove it, put a Marvel logo on it, and put it to screens, and people will eat it up.
Yes.
I mean, it just, to me,
Yes.
obviously they go a little bit over, but just to
Yeah,
me, the
I
point
mean,
is driven
yeah.
home. Like,
No,
here
I
you're
get
getting this corny thing that,
right.
like, yeah.
Well, that's part of this show's like I don't know if I want to say charm, but it's part of its I don't know, reasoning or its methods or something is to just take something and draw it out to the ridiculous point.
Hmm.
To make its point
Yeah,
about that thing.
right. Yes. Yep.
So that's what this show's doing. I mean, it's part of its motive, modus operandi, whatever you want to call it, um, is to like take that thing and whatever it is that it's shining a spotlight on, and to stretch it into the ridiculous, so that you're like, okay, this is kind of
Hmm.
like I get your point about it.
It's it's not to the same level as South Park, but it is that same kind of strategy. It's that same
Yes,
kind of,
yeah,
take something,
it's
bring it
very
to the
yeah,
nth degree to like
yeah,
be able to like talk about the ridiculous state of society
right.
today, you know.
On on various like issues
You're
or
right.
points or
Yeah.
yep, for
Hmm.
sure.
And
So yeah, so it's a great way to kind of make fun of the overdone superhero movie
yep. Yep.
while also making points about like the characters themselves, the storylines of this own show. I mean, it makes fun of itself a little bit.
Right. Yeah. um let's see. Okay, so we talked, my drink is named The Deep. We also get into
Yes.
talking about The Deep. He has
Ah!
his like book called Deeper. He's getting the interviews
Oh
about what he's
god.
gone through. He's doing the like Lifetime movie channel film now. He says he's going to be the next Leah Remini.
Oh god. Oh god. So props here because this is these two kind of like appearances by the Deep in episodes 1 and episode 2 um are the exact amount I want to see him. We had a
Yeah.
whole storyline focused on him last season. I'm ready to take a pause on the Deep and just have him appear in these weird like he's promoting his book Deeper, and then he like has a run-in with Homelander and basically is like a sniveling idiot, and
Hmm.
then walks away and is like, "Oh, I think that went really well." Like,
Yeah.
ugh, God, hilarious. And then here in
Billy
episode
Zane.
2, Billy Zane
Yeah.
um playing the church leader that he's talking about, and he's like, doing this like Lifetime movie. Oh my God, I forgot about the fresco, which was like such a
Oh
thing.
yeah.
You can see in the background of this shot for those of you who are watching. Um, so it makes me feel like, I mean, one, I absolutely loved everything about this like fake Lifetime movie. It was great. And then like Homelander coming on afterward and being sponsored by Lean Cuisine Vought TV meal things. Lean Lady meals or something. Hilarious. But it does make me think that something is going to be happening with the church again at some point. They've got to pop back up at some point because we didn't really resolve that storyline.
Yes.
So I kind of like if these are like lead-in hints to something happening there. These are hilarious, perfect ways to just kind of remind you about that and then go away. We focus on something else. So, well done on these rights because they're very funny.
I am Muro is kind of saying, so maybe this would be trying to get a grasp again on the series, saying,
oh, sure,
this would be comedic then. And it's like, yeah, it has a lot of dark humor,
yes,
for sure. Use a lot of gross things and whatever to bring a comedic twist. But there's stakes too.
Yeah. I mean, they very much use a lot of like gore, like horror gore, to get their points across. There's a lot of like dark mockery. When we say ridiculous, I think it's just like these situations are so extreme as to stretch the point of believability about something, or there's such, and I can't believe I'm using this word again, but like such oversaturation of something that it just takes it so far that you can clearly tell it's mocking something else that's more real or more serious. But it's very seldom ridiculous in the like in itself they've written something too funny or too unreal to be believed.
Right. Yeah. It's
a very fine line to kind of describe that.
So it strikes an interesting balance.
Yeah.
Yep. The other big news, so we're focusing on a lot of Homelander in here as well, where he having gone through the scandal he did in the last season, he's getting now Starlight is being made co-captain.
Yes.
Which is very, to me anyways, is very clearly like we'd rather just have her be captain because her numbers are doing really well, but we can't deal with the image of like getting rid of you, and it's harder to control you if we were to do that as well. So whereas I think he's thinking, oh, this is for image, but I'm still in control here. Right. It starts becoming clear that's not the way this is going to play out.
Yeah, so I am loving Giancarlo Esposito as Stan Edgar, the boss of Vought, who is, running these superheroes' lives. I love how done he is with all of this. Where we have that scene right before Starlight gets made co-captain, and he sits down with, congressman running for president. And he's like, gotta be real with you. I'm tired of this babysitting gig. We made superheroes, and then now I have to babysit all of them, and I hate it. It's stupid. I don't wanna.
Yeah, right.
He's basically like a parent who's like, I give up. I don't want to babysit these damn kids anymore. So, he's just kind of done with all of it. Like, in his interaction with Homelander, he's like, Starlight has better numbers. Suck it up, bro. I don't care about your feelings anymore. He's just done. And he very much doesn't care that Homelander can hear how done he is with him.
Is there a chance that was deception? Is there a chance that he doesn't mean that, and he's just saying that to the candidate for president strategically?
No, in my mind, I think he really is done with the babysitting gig, and I think he just wants to move on to, I want to make money and not have to care about shaping every aspect of these people's lives. Like, I think he's over the whole like covering up the messes, like doing the PR thing, like, he just doesn't want to be responsible for that. He just wants his money and he wants to go do his own thing. And so, of course, stemming from all of this is the fact that Vought has now made V24, which is the same compound that has created all of these superheroes, V, but specifically named 24 because it lasts for 24 hours. So it can make someone a superhero for a day.
Right.
And then they're back to being, plain vanilla human.
Yep.
We haven't really explored a ton about what that means, what the side effects might be. If you're injured in your 24 hours as a superhero, like, do you feel that when you return to human, or are you just like fine? But yeah, so that's the big news out of the first episode. I mean, among other big news, that is very big news, big ramifications that they've developed this compound.
Maybe you just drink it and you have the ability to grow your hair any length, shorter or longer.
Yeah, maybe it doesn't work.
I mean, you don't know what's the ability going to be.
Yeah, it could be random, like V is.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I mean, he seems to suggest that it's more about like you're a super soldier. Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, we don't actually know that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so I do actually feel like he doesn't want out of the superhero game. I think he's just tired of Homelander.
Yeah.
Because Homelander's crazy.
Yeah.
And he's doing his apology tour. It's sad. He just like literally repeats the same thing without clearly believing any of it. And I think Giancarlo Esposito, Stan Edgar, is just like, whatever, I don't care. I don't want to craft your image anymore.
But isn't this also now like nice? Like it rings true. This is what we get, Someone does something someone doesn't like, and they are just like paraded around out there. It is literally an apology tour. People go on every show that will have them and say the same lines, and that's what So Homelander's going through his motions, and
I think is sad. I think, I don't know. I feel that true apologies aren't apology tours. They are, who have I hurt? What is the quickest way I can get a heartfelt message of apology to them? I will do that thing and apologize, and then just be done.
Right.
Because making an apology tour is about making an apology to the public, not actually to the person that you hurt.
Right. Yeah. So it's about saving face.
Exactly. It's not being truly sorry. If you're truly sorry, like, I don't know. I guess I'm maybe not a person who believes that you need to apologize like over and over, unless that's what that singular person or group of people require you to do or ask for, and then that's something between you two. But you know what I'm saying? Like that's like something that's different than like making an apology tour.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Every situation, I suppose, is a little different. In that
right.
regard,
I'm not going to say like, I know what's best in every situation, but I think people can tell the difference between, being genuinely sorry and apologizing. And Homelander's like fake BS. Like, I'm going to be on every talk show and say the exact same words and mean clearly none of it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, and if it was up to him, he probably wouldn't be doing that. But that's the thing.
That's the Vought machine.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They mentioned other superhero teams in the first episode, which had me intrigued.
Yeah, that was fun.
Like we really hadn't. Yeah, where are they? Kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And then they give us one, Payday.
Oh, it's Payday? Group. I thought it was Payback.
Was it?
Alan,
I mean, that would make more sense. It would make more sense than Payday, but for some reason I read it as...
Sure. I mean, they don't say it very long because they focus on the team, Crimson Countess, Gunpowder, and then, of course, our big main focus of the season, Soldier Boy.
Soldier Boy.
Okay, because we're the children of the generation that we are, did you hear Soldier Boy cranked at in your head the first time somebody said that? Because I did, and I was so disappointed in myself.
So I hear Soldier Boy, But honestly, it's really sad because I think of 90 Day Fiance because this is what
Oh, sure,
Ashley and
sure.
Tara watch, and there's a person on there that calls himself something really similar. It's not Soldier Boy, but it's something like that. So I
Okay.
thought of him right away, and equally as sad, if
Right,
not
were you
more
just
so.
like, "Oh, no. Why
Yeah.
did I do that?" Yeah.
Uh, if Tara was in the chat, she could tell me right now who this is. But anyways, yeah. So we get off to, I think, a pretty crazy start.
Mhm.
Anything else you want to like really mention on episode 1 before we move on?
John,
Yes.
what have we missed that's super huge but also super small from season 3, episode 1? That scene. That
Uh,
scene.
well, we
Yeah.
had well, we had the opening scene, which is crazy, and
So we have to talk about the way that so Huey is in this opening episode of season
mhm,
3 is Butcher's boss. Um,
yeah,
in the sense that, Butcher leads a field team investigating superheroes, that are doing wrong, and bringing the evidence back to this bureau, and then of course these people like get charged and
mhm.
arrested, remanded, brought to trial, whatever they do, various types of punishment. So Butcher has gotten intel on a certain superhero called Termite. And he, goes to Huey and he says, I want to bring him in. And Huey's like, nope, just surveillance. So Frenchie and Kimiko go to a party that Termite is hosting. Oh my God. I don't know how much I can talk about this scene, um, without being too non-family friendly, but I'll do my best. But
I mean,
yeah,
we are
so
talking about the boys. It's not
we are
family
talking about
friendly.
the boys. I mean, I feel like we've been pretty good so far
Yeah.
for a show with this much gore. But this scene really takes the cake. I mean, I knew going into season 3 that there were people who talked about that scene in the opening, and they're
Mhm.
like, when you see it, you'll know. And boy, did I know in that scene that I was going to be
It
seeing it.
seems very irresponsible to crawl into someone's penis
Oh my
uh, when you.
God. Right after you've done some coke
Well, if sneezing is enough to like let you lose control of your
of your
abilities.
powers, yeah.
Yes.
So he's called Termite because he can get really small, and we learn in this scene, he has a male partner, and his lover would like him to crawl inside his penis and stimulate him. And obviously, it goes tragically wrong after Termite has sniffed some cocaine, which tickles his nose. He sneezes and literally explodes out of his partner's penis, cutting him in half.
We
I
just
mean,
lost half our viewers. So
I know. I just, oh my God. That's like, I was just waiting for it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just felt this about to happen. The second he got small and was going to do whatever he was going to do. I didn't know at first that he was going to crawl inside his penis, but whatever he was going to do, I
yeah.
like already knew. I was like, this is bad. That he's
Hmm.
dying, right? You know what I mean? Oh
Yep.
my God. So, yeah, we got a firsthand view of field work for this new team.
Yeah.
Poor Frenchie and poor Kimiko
Yep.
got beaten up by a tiny termite.
Yep.
Frenchie nearly had him crawl up another orifice of his
Yeah.
body to kill him. Kimiko saved the day, and then Butcher saved the day by trapping termite in a bag of cocaine.
That's pretty funny. Yeah.
It was really good.
Shaking him
It
up.
was,
Yeah.
yeah, shaking him up, a little powder covered termite donut looking thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy. So yeah, so we got firsthand kind of what this new reality that everybody is living in looks like, and how much Butcher dislikes it, how much Huey does like it. But
Yep.
unfortunately for poor Huey, his life gets turned upside down, though not inside out, by the
Yeah.
end of the episode, as he learns his new boss is our head exploder
Yep.
from last season.
Yep. Yeah, we're
And is
getting
in
big
fact
reveals
soup.
quick. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. I liked it. I liked that they didn't like dance around it, and we got really like right away. So his boss, Victoria Newman, um, clearly has a secret past because this guy comes up to her, calls her Nadia. She pretends not to know him. He
Yep.
gets intrigued. He follows them, sees her explode him with just, a look. And yeah, literally learns that she's our head popper,
Yep.
and that he's been kind of living a lie for the past year.
Yep. Crazy stuff. Episode
Yeah.
2, we get again the little stuff on with the deep. They throw shade at Nexium. No, I think that's the name of Nexium. The other cult guy was arrested, put in prison, stuff like
Yes.
that. And
Yes. Yep.
some of the women had brandings of his initials.
Yep.
So they throw that in there a
Oh my
little bit.
god.
Um, this episode is where
This was a perfect plug to put Fresca in, and they didn't. They just kept it in the background, but I'm
yeah,
waiting. I'm
yep.
waiting for like the Deep's like Fresca endorsement.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know. I think that's over with.
Or Fresca's competitor. I don't
Yeah,
know.
right. Just gonna jump ship like that. This episode is we get into further seeing how Homelander is still like hanging out with a very injured and beat up Stormfront.
Which was another big reveal
Surprise, yeah.
from episode 1. I did not realize she was alive.
Yeah, I didn't either. I didn't think that was the case. So, and then there's the team. We're kind of getting, the team being split up is all having their issues, and like you said, everybody's sort of the only one that's been happy has been Quaid, Huey, and that's changing quickly. And now things might change for the rest of the team, that they are more okay with where things are going to go, because
Mm-hmm.
the big thing in this episode we find out is that the Vought is controlling both sides of the coin. So basically, Giancarlo Esposito has raised essentially are now head of the bureau that's designed to manage and regulate the superheroes.
Yes.
So no wonder certain congressmen and stuff like that got their heads exploded when having these hearings and stuff like that, per the directive of Vought itself.
Yeah, which to me says he is out of this like a certain element of the superhero game. You know what I mean? Like I feel like this episode confirmed for me he is out of like Vought. He doesn't want to be the PR machine. He doesn't want to have that. He wants like this level of congressional control kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, that was a big moment.
Mm-hmm. But the whole thing is, it's again, I like the balancing act, and not only like tackling different issues, but also now in this where we see the incredible amount of control that Vought has. It's just been extended now. But whereas the episode is, and I guess I'm jumping ahead here some stuff, but Homelander, to me, the big thing in this episode is that we're getting that he's maybe going to stop playing ball.
Yeah.
So the episode we've been preparing for his birthday celebration. And so there's been, we got to talk about too, the American hero, the clearly American Idol kind of talent show, all this stuff, that they're doing.
Yes. There's so much going on in this season, and it's all so good. there's nothing I feel like is the weak part of this season so far. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
Yep.
everything that's happening feels integral.
hmm It keeps
Um,
moving.
yeah, everything keeps it moving. There's no like slow moments. Yeah. So American Hero, the reality show where everybody's competing to fill the 2 spots that have been left on the 7, by the Deep and Black Noir. Is Black Noir still on the 7, or is he, like, still on his, like, weird sabbatical, resting,
Um,
recovering?
yeah, it's a good question. I mean, obviously Stormfront.
Oh, Stormfront, yeah, sorry, my bad, clearly. Um, so, yeah, so everybody's competing to replace Stormfront and the Deep, and one of these people is, one of Starlight's old boyfriends. Uh, what did he call himself at first? Now he calls himself Supersonic, but it was, like, some terrible,
Yeah.
awful, silly
He was
name.
like in a boy band,
He
and
was in a boy band! Oh god, and their songs are so terrible. And the way oh god, he performs one of them at Homelander's birthday, and oh god, it's so painful. It's so demeaning,
hmm
especially him doing boy band moves by himself,
yep, by
literally solo
himself,
on stage. It is painfully funny
singing
to
about how
watch.
finally you're now 16 or something
And
like
you
that.
can drive me crazy. Oh god,
hmm
it's so terrible. It's so bad. Um So yeah, just kind of also like I feel like in that instance, like poking fun at like boy bands
Yeah.
and boy band lyrics and how actually like they can be pretty problematic sometimes.
Well, and like
Um
just I watch, like listen to K-pop and stuff like that. But man, the guy boy bands and some of that. I mean,
yeah.
I know it's not. I'm not the target audience, but wow,
Yeah.
wow. And so this is definitely that um,
Yes.
kind of
So
thing.
like the nth degree, just to like
Yeah.
draw it out so painfully to be like, oof, yeah,
hmm
ouch. Um So yeah, so that's I guess a different aspect to the show that maybe I am a little bit disappointed in, because we have this like now return of Starlight's ex-boyfriend. Huey gets insanely jealous, and I just sort of felt
Mm,
like this is not a good look for you, Huey. It's
right.
not good at all. I sort of feel like you should maybe be beyond this, or like not in this like jealousy place. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, but I've never honestly really liked Huey all that much. He's
Um,
just
I did in the first season, when he was just sort of like getting into everything and
to
Butcher was like
start.
taking him in hand and he just sort of
Right.
was like, yes, superheroes are a problem. Like I'm the new guy. I need to be brought into everything. But yeah, he's probably the character that swung back and forth for me the most.
Okay.
Where there have been moments where I've really liked him and then moments where I've really disliked him.
Mhm.
Whereas for other characters, I usually feel more settled on how I feel about them,
Yep.
positively or negatively. He has the widest swings for me.
hmm He just has never really left the state of not being pathetic.
Kind of
It's
whiny.
yeah, he's had his moment here, like you say, he felt like he's on top of the world for a little bit, but it's like if stuff's not going exactly the perfect way, then he just, I mean, he can't open a jar
Yeah.
without busting his hand open. Like he just can't. I'm just tired of watching the patheticness.
Yeah, yeah, I didn't really love how the first episode opened and he was kind of like dismissing his dad, even though his dad is kind of a weirdo.
Yeah.
Like Simon Pegg does do that very wonderfully. Love
hmm
that he's back in a cameo. Didn't love that he was dismissing his dad and then sort of like being very wishy-washy with Butcher asking him to be like, make a decision about what I'm doing. And he was like, oh, I don't know. I have to ask my other people. And I'm like, what is your job then, even?
hmm
Like, what is your function if all you can do is not make decisions and ask other people? Um, and then I didn't like his jealousy that was
Yep.
going on here with Starlight and her ex boyfriend. And I especially didn't like it when they brought it back as a motivation for him to like go off on his own side
Right.
mission.
hmm
I was just like, you know what, you're better than that, or you
No,
should
he's
be.
not. Yeah. Right.
I
Yeah.
yeah, I guess I want you to be. So I
Yep.
just Hated
We have
that.
enough going on, enough interesting things with a lot
Right,
of
I don't need
characters.
this. This is
Right.
the only subplot I
Mhm.
don't need right now.
Yep. Yep. Let's see. Homelander meets with, uh, Homelander meets with, he's on screen right now, Butcher,
Yeah.
because Butcher is trying to make the relationship work with his wife's kid, and Homelander wants to know where he is. They kind of
Yeah.
have an interesting conversation. Kind of a little foreshadowing there for what's to come between the two of them, I suppose,
Yeah.
and
They're
then it
basically
leads.
like, "Don't you miss, like, the days where we could just burn it all down?" And they're both like, "Yep."
Yeah, right. Yeah.
2 sides of the same coin.
Yep.
I mean,
Mhm.
they like the situations that they were in where it was, like, just blood and mess and gore and straight up fighting each other as opposed to this, like, very constrained, PR driven, you
Yep.
know, like, we're fighting each other through the system, but nothing's happening.
Yep. Yep. So yeah, we get the investigation. They're looking for a Soldier Boy yet. So they're running down the crew of the old superhero team. Butcher actually takes the V-24, like you say, so we get to see what
Yes.
happens there.
I knew it
Uh,
was going to.
well, yeah, yep.
I
Done in
mean,
trailers.
right, how long could he really hold
Hold
out
out. Yeah.
after
Hmm.
being given that?
Yep. But
Oh, by
this,
Maeve, who we haven't
yeah,
mentioned yet, but that was a kind of a fun cameo for her. I dig the she's Butcher's inside informant
yeah.
relationship. I could run with that and see her there more.
Kind of makes sense. Maeve always seems practical,
Yeah.
you know. So,
Yeah, well, and I mean, she wants Homelander gone as much as, any of them do.
hmm,
So, I mean, if this is she's smart about it. She's like, "I know you hate him, so let me give you the scoop, see if you run
hmm,
with it and find anything, and I'll be over here."
yep. It's it's a great premise to run with for the show, an overarching
Yeah.
thing where you have a Superman character that is unstoppable and indestructible. It
Mhm.
seems, and you don't want him around anymore. What are you gonna do? And
Right.
so we get these moments where it's like bots, controlling him and really putting him in his place and all that stuff. And you're like, okay, he's kind of limped that way. He's kind of maimed in a sense. But it's because he's so um, like developmentally um,
Stunted?
small, young. Yeah, at this point
Mhm.
that he's you know not able to understand necessarily, despite him knowing how powerful he is, that he doesn't have to play this game. And so that's what I like our ending with the episode 2.
Yeah.
We're getting his birthday celebration, and he's kind of just decided he's done with it, it
Mhm.
seems. And
Well, I
because
think
what
it's
are they gonna do?
yeah, I think it's a very hard thing to really in actuality let go of wanting and needing to be liked. And he's had it for
Right.
so long. He's been liked for so long. Um, it's very hard for him to imagine a world without that. So I think for him, the apology tour and the climbing back, they're very short term in his mind, but when that turns out to not be the reality, that's the
Right.
moment when he's like, I can't do this for, maybe another 5 years or whatever.
Yep.
I did my thing, it didn't work out, and now I'm out.
Yep. Yep. Um. Let's see. What else do we? Oh, I like your comment. How dare you associate Dame Judy Dench with
Yes!
this?
She is not appearing at Homelander's birthday celebration. Not the dame.
That's what the teleprompter says. I mean,
No, not the dame. I did love the like random assortment of entertainers that Homelander was being like, look who's gonna appear at my birthday. It was just
mhm,
such a very random and odd collection. But I was, yeah. And they specifically called out Dame Judy Dench. I was like, no,
yep,
get her out of there.
yep. Um, Yeah, a lot of things, there's a number of other things that happen. The important kind of, again, leading to this breaking point for Homelander is that
Hmm.
he really did care for Stormfront, and she then goes and kills herself
On his
on
birthday.
his birthday.
I mean, his
Wow.
fake birthday, but his
Right.
birthday.
It's the day you celebrate, yeah. So that's
Yeah.
what it is, I guess. And
Yeah.
um,
That was, again, a move I didn't see coming. I mean,
mhm,
she was clearly very damaged, and it felt like she was only getting worse at the beginning of
mhm.
episode 2, so I guess I wasn't surprised that she was finally going to die, but this situation was a surprise to me.
It had to be just to burn him one last time,
Oh, yeah,
because
absolutely.
if you just knew you were gonna die, well, do you want to do it slowly, or do you want to like make a point and do it on his
And
birthday?
she chose to make a point
Yeah,
because he
yeah.
burned her first in his, like, "I'm not gonna lead your Nazi revolution, but
Hmm.
also I am the perfect specimen." It's very complicated.
Well, he's saying
It's
like,
n
what do you need all this for? Like, I
Right, just
am the
me.
thing, right?
Just
Like,
me,
I'm
yeah.
enough. So,
Yeah. Yeah, it's a very weird, like, there are somehow 2 wrong sides of a coin here.
yeah,
You know what
oh
I
yeah,
mean? Like,
that
you
not
really
somehow that happens all the time. In my
yeah.
opinion. So,
It's just, like, very weird, like, I'm rooting for neither of you in this situation.
hmm, hmm,
You have 2 opposing viewpoints that are somehow both not right.
yep. Well, and it's something that the show, I think normally balances pretty well, but it has to work on balancing, because we do need to have people to really root for. We do need to
Mhm.
have people that we're a fan of. And, when I'm like tired of Butcher being too much of a jerk, or Huey being too whiny or something, it needs to be the people like Kimiko and Frenchie, like, that I care about what happens to them.
Yeah.
And the father, I don't remember if I mentioned his name.
MM.
Yeah, like, he's a good guy. We need to
Yeah.
have those backbones, those centralized things. Even like Maeve, like,
Mhm.
though she's compromised at times and like had to go through a lot, we
Right.
need to have these people that we have sympathy for and want to root for.
Right,
So,
and they've been solidly on the periphery, I think, in these first 2 episodes, but now, like, it's clear that, like, the team is getting back together.
mhm,
I'm hoping they'll take more central roles and we can get that, like, you know, better balance back in the show. I
yeah,
do think these first kind of 2 episodes were very necessary to move events forward and move things forward. Very solidly, tightly written, but you're right. We need to move into I need somebody to root for other than Butcher
mhm.
and other than Huey. But
And
I mean, Starlight,
yes,
she
yes,
seems very solid. She, like, knows who she is.
but
She's
she's
feeling
with Huey.
confident. She is with
He
Huey,
takes down.
but she is not standing for his shit, and she is
Correct.
saying,
Yeah.
like, "Need you to be better. I know where I am."
Hmm. Yep.
So, I mean, if yeah, there's an element to that relationship that I think, like, they don't have permanency if he can't somehow find a way to get over his whininess.
Hmm.
And I actually won't be sad about it, even though they are, like, kind of like the love story of the show. I don't need
Yeah.
them to be together.
Yeah. I, we don't need to have, it's something that like the last season of Stranger Things did poorly in my mind. We don't need to have
Sure.
people that are allied together fighting amongst each other too much. You
Mhm.
already have enemies that we'll have a lot of
Right.
conflict between. You don't need to overdo it with your own side.
Yeah,
So,
I agree.
um, all right. There's obviously more. These episodes went fast and they did a lot.
Sure.
But is
I
there anything
think
else we want to
yeah,
bring up?
I think the biggest thing is, now that we're hunting for Soldier Boy,
Hmm.
And, we're kind of tracking down his acquaintances and trying to figure out what happened to him, because the big point of finding out what happened is we're going to find a weapon that can kill Soldier Boy, who is apparently like another kind of analog character to
Yeah.
Homelander. We can find a weapon that can kill Homelander.
Hmm.
And I don't think it's stretching it in any sense of believability to say, like, I don't think we're going to find this like miracle weapon. I think we're going to somehow
Right.
find Soldier Boy alive.
Yeah,
Is
I think
that
it's gonna
crazy?
be
I mean, I don't
no.
feel
I
like that's
I think that's
crazy.
where it's going. I think we're gonna
Yeah,
find him alive, and it's more likely that they'll build a group of allies that will ultimately take down Homelander together. You know,
sure.
they're gonna have to have a super powered fight with Butcher in there against
Mhm.
Homelander.
Mhm.
And if Soldier Boy's part of that, and
Yeah, I
amongst
mean,
others,
he's a very unknown element right now. I mean, I feel like we're getting hints that like his death was not his death, and
right?
he'll be brought in, maybe as a foil to Homelander, and there's going to be a superpower battle there, or maybe he like takes over for Homelander. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? Like he kills Homelander and like goes like completely
Wow.
the other way. There's a lot of like unknowns right there, but I'm enjoying the premise of tracking down his story because we want to find a weapon that kills Homelander.
Yep.
We're opening a can of worms that we don't exactly know what we're getting into. So,
Yep. And
yeah.
I do think it needs to be more complex than ultimately a group of people getting together that are super powered and beating up Homelander, because
Yeah, no, I agree.
we kind of got that with Stormfront. Stormfront was quite powerful, and we had our moment of like pinataing her back and forth at the
Mhm.
end of last season and stuff. So I
Right.
don't want to duplicate that sort of thing with Homelander, but
Mhm.
yeah, I'm interested to see where it's going to go. That's for sure.
Mhm.
So
Yes. Yes.